Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday Night Moviecast with Logie Bear and the Senator. Tonight's topic, the DCEU, which is the DC cinematic universe of movies with their superheroes and supervillains. We're going to be discussing the ups, the downs, and the in-betweens, and how we feel about each movie.
Yeah.
And the universe as a whole, really.
Yeah, maybe some predictions as to where they're going.
Yep. Because we definitely have some of those.
I do.
Yeah, that wasn't sarcasm.
Okay.
Sounded
okay. Well, I think we'll just start off with Man of Steel because we have it up already.
And it was the first one, so.
Which unofficially you mentioned this before, but wasn't supposed to be.
It was more of a trial run, where they kind of just released a Superman movie. Oh, sorry, they didn't even call it a Superman because Warner Brothers would not give this movie the rights to actively call Clark Kent Superman.
Right.
So if you watch the movie, they only say Superman like 3 times.
I think they always call him Clark too. They never say the full name.
Yeah, Clark. Well, he's Clark Kent in the movie, but they call it Man of Steel because they couldn't call it Superman because it was just kind of something that they threw out there.
Right.
And then it did well enough. People generally liked it. I mean, people weren't over the moon with excitement for it, but the fact that Man of Steel was decently successful is the reason that we have a DC EU with Henry Cavill as Superman. So it's interesting because you watch it and it's definitely a different Superman movie because it was supposed to be from the beginning.
Yeah, I gotta be so. When I first watched Man of Steel, honestly didn't like it. Like when the first time I watched it, I was like, not gonna lie, I fell asleep for like 10 minutes of that movie because
it's a slower movie.
It's a slow burn.
What do we got? 2 hours 23.
Yeah, it's long.
They get longer.
Oh, do they ever? yeah, 2 hours. It's crazy. Which I don't mind long movies if they keep my attention for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And even if I lull off for a minute or two, like Fast and Furious movies, they do not keep my attention for the whole time, but they give me enough of a rhythm to where I can kind of come back into it. But yeah, Man of Steel, I was just and having just known a ton about the Superman character already and seeing all the other movies before, I was like, it just didn't feel like anything new.
Well, there's a little bit new. See, for one, it's a little bit darker.
It is.
Right, and to state the obvious, they destroy Metropolis.
They do.
They
do devastate Metropolis. And so it's just the Superman is an archetype, and he's just boring.
Well, and what they did to mix that up a little bit was they changed the role of Jonathan Kent, where in other renditions, like the Christopher Reeves movies, or probably in Smallville, I don't remember for sure. You can confirm or deny this, but it's more of him kind of guiding him how to use his powers and say, this is when you should use them, this is when you shouldn't, and this is what being Superman would look like with the guidance of him. But in Man of Steel, his dad basically says, you really shouldn't do anything because the world's not ready for you at all. So just freaking keep everything inside. So it's kind of this pent up power.
Yep.
Right? Because when the movie starts, he can't even fly yet.
Which I like.
Which is good. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I love Smallville, right? Is because Jonathan Kent does have that same level of Clark. Probably shouldn't use these, but he ends up teaching him. It's a bit of a mix.
Yeah.
But with Man of Steel, it just when I talk about something new, I wanted something new, like a new challenge for Superman.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fault of the Superman character, just the way that they wrote him in general, in all the comics and everything. He's just unbeatable, and it's just it's kind of
Well, you have 2 options. You either do another Kryptonian, which they did,
yeah.
is Zod,
yeah,
or you bring Kryptonite.
Yeah, and
which Which
Kryptonite gets
we'll get to Kryptonite later because I like the way they did it, but yeah, bringing another Kryptonian again, which they've already done. I'll say that definitely wasn't something that had been done before, and it almost fit with the trope.
Yes.
I think one of the biggest complaints towards a lot of Marvel movies is that the villain is just a darker version of the hero. So Iron Man faces Ironmonger, which is just another dude in an Iron Man suit that's bigger. Right? Black Panther just fights another guy in a Black Panther suit at the end. Right? And so this kind of fit into that where it's basically just two of the same thing, one good, one bad, fighting each other.
Which I almost don't, just in general, when I'm going to talk about like action scenes for a second. I almost just hate watching Superman fight like another Kryptonian because it's just like it wants to be cool like an anime fight, but it isn't because it's real people and there's real gravity and physics that they have to like apply to it.
I'll say there are some good moments in the fight.
I like when he smashes through all the buildings.
There's a scene where Zod's threatening his mom, Martha.
Yes. Yeah.
And Superman comes and picks him and just driving him into the ground.
Yeah.
That's a good scene. Like,
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's good action.
It reminds me of the Hulkbuster with Hulk.
Yeah.
Go to sleep. Which I will say one thing that there's, and it is in Man of Steel, and this is why I like Man of Steel. The second time I watched it, like a couple of years later when I was probably a little older,
a little more mature.
There's one scene where Clark is like still like he's young and he's at the farm, I think, and he can hear all of the people.
That's at school.
Oh right, yeah, it's at school. He can hear all of the people with his super hearing like crying out for help, and he wants to help them, but he can't.
Oh.
And he knows he can't help all of them, and then he has that conversation with Martha, right?
That's a little bit different. At school, he hears just all the noises in his X-ray vision.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
But you know the scene I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Where like he and that to me is how you make Superman more interesting. You give him
some humanity.
Yeah. You give him some humanity, and that's always been. Yeah.
That's really the way that you make him interesting, right? And I think they tried to do it at the end. By the way, we're gonna spoil the movie.
Yeah, spoilers.
7 years old.
Yeah, it's almost a decade old.
So at the end, when he kills Zod because he has to, which is debatable, but I think as the movie would argue, he has to kill Zod, so he does it, and then it hurts him to have to take another life. That's why he screams so hard. Right, and then like there's a nice scene right before all the action starts where Zod has broadcasted his message across Earth, and Clark has to decide if he's going to turn himself in or not. So he goes and talks to a priest at some church.
Yeah.
Which is a good moment where
it's very human, and I like those moments.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say, from what I remember though, about Man of Steel, because it's probably been like 5 years since I've seen it.
Oh my god.
It's so long. There was one. I will say that the visuals, because I looked up the trailer today to just get a peek at the visuals, which trailers aren't the best. They look pretty good.
They're good visuals.
They're good visuals. Like, and as a general moviegoer, I like good visuals, and so like.
But
I enjoy seeing Clark and Superman and Zod like beat each other up because it's just visually appealing.
As visuals go too, the one thing I like that is unique to this universe with Superman is when he's about to fly, the like loose dirt and debris around him kind of rises up and then slams down when he takes off. Yeah. And I truthfully I don't know if that's from the comics now, but it's a cool concept to throw into the movies. It looks cool.
It does look very good.
I think we should talk about one more thing before we moving on. Is that they did something very interesting in this movie, and they changed the Fortress of Solitude immensely from an ice crystal palace in the Arctic to a Kryptonian spaceship.
Oh right, they did do that. I forgot about that.
Which is, it's straight up, it's pretty cool and a nice
Yep.
new idea. I wasn't that upset that they changed it because they tried to make it more convincing and surreal. The fact that a little tiny crystal grows into a mansion is a little less believable than the fact that a spaceship was frozen in the glaciers for thousands of years.
Just a side comment. That's your problem with unrealism with Superman? The fact that his tiny little chip turns into an ice mansion, but the fact that he just is a god among men?
These movies try to like explain things a lot more. To say like here's how this would exist in not necessarily our world, but in a world like ours. And so I think the spaceship is a way that they did that.
No, the spaceship, I remember that now. I like the unique take on that. Those are the things that, like, when I want to watch a Superman movie now, that's what I want to see.
Is little nuances.
And little differences. Because we all know the Superman character.
Yeah.
We all know the green rocks make him sick. Like,
or if you're in Smallville, any colored rock, basically.
Well, no.
Somewhere.
No. Some of them are good.
Ish.
Some of them are okay. You know what? We don't need to talk about Smallville. You know what?
Okay. All right.
Batman.
Just what's like your one sentence, not number rating, but like what would your sentence rating be in this movie? I'd say pretty good start.
It's a good start. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. Well, we'll get there.
I'm spitballing. Okay, we're gonna do Batman because it's Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Let's see what comes up. Dawn of Justice. Now, I think to clarify, we'll be talking about the extended cut,
the Ultimate Edition.
The Ultimate Edition, because that's what we watched recently, and that's actually the only cut I've seen.
It's definitely a better cut of the movie, and most people would agree with that too.
From what I know of the theatrical cut and what you said, I just don't want to watch it. Like I'm just
they cut out so much of like very crucial information.
Yeah,
and it explains a lot of the story that people were confused about. And it's a little upsetting that it happened the way it did.
Yeah. Okay, I love this movie.
It's a good movie. A lot of people talk smack about it, but it's a good movie.
It's a great.
No. Allow me to preface this. We are not about to praise and lift high every movie by DC.
Heck
because
no.
there are some coming.
There are some bad
We're going to talk poorly about them. Quite poorly. But this movie, contrary to some public belief, we enjoy.
I enjoy this movie a lot because it does exactly what I wanted them to do with Man of Steel, and they do it with the Man of Steel and Batman.
Yeah.
Like, it's the ultimate, like, God versus man, like, battle.
Yeah.
And then you throw in all the dark side, like, little sprinkling stuff in there. Of, like,
there's a lot of it.
And, like, and it actually is really well done.
Yep.
In the ultimate cut.
Yes.
And I love Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I think
his plan is
awesome.
Really good.
It's great.
Now let's start by talking about the one thing, at least that I think, and I feel like you probably agree, is the lower part of the movie, and that's Doomsday.
Yeah, we didn't need him in the movie. They're throwing too much.
I don't hate necessarily the reason why he was there. He's kind of the silver bullet in case Batman failed to kill Superman. Yeah, which works.
It is.
So, cool, good for you. But it also just felt like, in the Ultimate Edition is 3 hours long. And we've sat there for about 2.5 hours. And this conflict, the title conflict, Batman versus Superman, has completed. It's wrapped up.
Yeah.
And then what we need is now. Well, I'm not even too upset about that. But now they've decided that they're going to throw in another very CG monster that doesn't look that great.
Good. He does not look good.
And they probably could have saved it for another movie.
I think they should have
made him look a little bit better.
I think
you probably could have hinted towards it because they hint towards a lot of future stuff.
They do,
some of which doesn't happen. But they hint towards a lot of future stuff, and that could have been one of them. Is what was Lex doing in the thing with Zod in his own blood? We'll find out in Justice League 2. Or in Justice League,
Yeah,
yes.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. Okay, just have Batman v Superman in this movie. Maybe introduce Wonder Woman as like the mediator or something. You could do something really cool with that because she's like the Amazonian and she protects people, whatever. I think you could do a really cool thing with there where like they're battling and the mess is like hurting people and she comes in and I was like, I don't know. I think Doomsday would have made a way better villain if he was a Justice League villain.
Yep.
Like I think that would have been so much cooler and like way more better done.
Snyder Cut? Oh yeah.
We'll touch on that for sure. Heck yeah, release the Snyder Cut. It happened. We did it. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, dude.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I signed an online petition once.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah. But anyway, also Batfleck, Ben Affleck as Batman, loved it. Loved every moment of Batman in this movie.
It's a little bit different than what we're used to, and Batman I would say is more different than the Superman.
Yeah, and that's why I like it because we've seen time and time again all the Batman animated movies and the Nolan trilogy and like all the people kind of I was getting tired of Batman and Superman, and then they pit them against each other, and I was like, let's go. And then they actually do some really unique things, like Batman just straight up murders people in this movie.
Yeah.
Now it's Darkseid influencing Batman.
Well, a little bit. Part of it's also just Gotham has got to him after years and years and years.
Yeah.
And I saw a video one time, and he goes off about why Batman doesn't kill people, and the origin of it, and what if Batman kills people, he's not really a hero.
Yeah.
And he's talking about Batman with Superman. And he says, you know when Batman is allowed to kill people? Is when the point is that he's not supposed to.
Yeah.
Because the fact that he kills people is what makes you think that at the end when he's holding the spear to Superman's head,
you think he's gonna kill him?
Superman might die here.
Yeah.
Right, straight up, like this could be the end of Henry Cavill. Right.
Yep. Oh, well, and
that's knowing you.
Also, Rachel McAdams meant
Amy Adams.
I don't know what yeah, it's a brain. Amy Adams crushes it as Lois in both Man of Steel, right? She's in Man of Steel.
Yep.
Yeah, and this movie. I love her. She's great. Just had a shout out because I forgot to do it in Man of Steel. But there are and one thing that I think they do so well in in Batman v Superman is they show like they very much like you don't from what I remember Man of Steel you don't see a lot of Clark Kent or sorry you see a ton of Clark Kent but you don't see a ton of Clark Kent battling to be Superman because that's just not the point of the story. It's very much an origin story.
Yeah.
But here you actually get to like see him juggle being Superman, being Clark Kent and Lois, and like I think it's that humanizing of him, and I think they do such a good job of that.
Well, and I think one of the interesting elements of this movie too, which is building off what you said, is you watch the TV. Oh, there's one scene right after Lex Luthor's party.
Yeah,
that does this really well, and it's intercut. Superman saving just hundreds of people.
So many. It's so cool.
So the one on the screen there with all the people in the hands on him, he saves a little girl from a burning building. He carries a ship across the Arctic. He goes to a flooded city to save people, and it's just wow! Like what? Look at this hero. But what you hear is all these news bits and interviews of like, should Superman be here? Should we kick him out? Like, is he allowed to do what he wants? Right? Like, should there be a Superman? Should we allow him to do what he wants to do? And that's interesting because it shows there's just such a divide where some people love Superman. He's the hero of this world. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Please stay. And other people say, this is freaking me out. You can get out of here now.
Which
builds into the conflict.
Yeah, the whole thing. And the media plays a huge role in this movie.
Yep.
Just like the idea of media in general is really big. Also, they play off a lot of cool kind of like meta jokes and tropes of like things like Lois gets captured right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And spoilers again. If you haven't seen these movies,
You've had time.
You've had plenty of time. Even Birds of Prey, you've had plenty of time.
Yeah.
Like he just shows up and just like saves her, like it just like she just knows.
Yeah.
Which is, it's great. As a person in the audience, it's kind of funny because you already know what's gonna happen, but then they tell you it's gonna happen in like a joking way. It's kind of like I don't know. I find that humor very good. And also, the opening of this movie, just like the opening crawl, is awesome. You just see Metropolis getting absolutely demolished, but
from a human's point of view,
a completely different perspective.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's awesome. I love that.
Also, I like the fact that Bruce Wayne does stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in the movies in the 80s and even the Christopher Nolan movies,
Bruce Wayne
when stuff was going down, Bruce Wayne would kind of disappear and then Batman would show up. But I like in this one when the city's being destroyed, like Bruce Wayne with no costume is just running into dust to go and save people.
A little girl, yeah.
It's good.
And again, that's what I want to see. Like in these superhero movies, is like I want to see that.
Yeah.
I like seeing that. It's awesome. And Bruce Wayne in this movie, like as a character, because realistically, Ben Affleck is playing two different characters, and same with Henry Cavill is acting as two different people. Like when you really think about it, it's very challenging to, I would think, to play Clark Kent and then to play Superman because they are different.
Yeah.
But Ben Affleck, I think, is the best straight up Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
I don't. You can have your debate about him being.
Dark Knight doesn't count, I guess, is what we have in the comments.
For what?
Bruce Wayne, I'm thinking.
Christian Bale was not a great Bruce Wayne. He's a great Batman and he's a great actor, but he's not like a great Bruce Wayne. And that's not a.
But it's a great Bruce Wayne for what the movie is.
Yeah, and that's not a knock on Christian Bale. That's a knock on the writer who didn't write a good Bruce Wayne character. Because he doesn't do anything.
That's kind of the point.
Man, I don't like that.
Yeah. And Ben Affleck does good for what this movie needs him to be as well, too.
Well, and he actually like does stuff when he's just Bruce Wayne. Like he goes to Lex's gala or whatever.
Yep.
And he's just Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
He hacks into the computer, and then Diana sees him or whatever, and like it's really well done.
Yep.
Also, that like AMG he drives, that Mercedes, that's like
nice car.
That's amazing. But and so they, and what's really cool is there's a third story sort of being told where they're unofficially telling you.
You're talking about the Dawn of Justice part of.
No. I hated that stuff. It was terrible. It was very shoehorned in there. I'm talking about like the world knows that like Gotham City is this piece of crap trash place.
Yeah.
And like Metropolis, like it's very much like really again reinforcing that idea. You got Metropolis, this bright shining beacon.
Yeah.
Symbolism for Superman. Then you got Gotham City all the way down here, this like trashy place with like low life criminals, and Batman is like killing them and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like it's twofold storytelling. I think trying to symbolize like the different things, and I think it's done really, really well. And I said it once, I'll say it again. This Lex Luthor is awesome.
Good.
Like the modern take on it, and how just like actually
it's the son of Lex Luthor. Like it's not the Lex from Smallville or Superman Returns or Superman 79 or whatever that came out. Right, this is the son of that individual who was the brains and the brawn and everything, and so now he's using the power that he has inherited to do scummy things.
It's still really cool.
Yes, it is.
And he's so brainy. Like, he's so smart and just, like, nerdy and crazy. Super well done.
Right, one more thing. Superman dies in this movie. We should talk about it.
Dies.
Yeah. Okay. First of all,
Oh, so
this is leaking into Justice League.
We're doing that next.
Well, no, we have 2 movies in between.
Oh gosh, we do.
So, my problem with this universe does not lie with this movie, but it lies a lot with what happened after this movie.
Yes.
There's a lot that is very obviously set up. You have Flash traveling through time, we assume, to tell Bruce something. We have all these Justice League files open, and we have Superman dying, but the final shot of the movie is the dirt rating, like we've seen in Man of Steel and a little bit in this one.
Yep.
So you're like, oh, well, it's good to know he's not dead. But in the next movie that Superman's in, no, he's dead. So the whole dirt raising was literally nothing, I guess.
What was? And so as an audience member, I saw Justice League like day of pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I love the Justice League. I love the animated movies. I'm excited for this. I hadn't seen Batman v Superman yet, but I knew what happened. Like, I just watched the synopsis because I just heard it was bad, so I didn't want to spend money on it.
Yeah.
And I was going into this movie and I was like, man, we might actually get a really good Justice League movie without Superman. Anyway, that's Justice League spoilers. But for the next, we should probably get moving. Yeah, we talked about Doomsday being a terrible part of this movie. Yeah. I think it's dumb.
Okay, 1 sentence rating description of this movie. Go.
It is an absolute must-watch in the DC franchise.
I think it's a flawed movie, but it's great.
Yeah, I'd agree. It is an absolute must-watch movie with some flaws.
Do the ultimate cut, though.
Yes, you have to do the ultimate cut.
There's too much missing from the theatrical.
You're just gonna do yourself a disservice if you don't. You're gonna have way more questions.
Yeah.
Let's
move on. Suicide Squad.
Oh, lordy.
Man, I wonder how Logan feels about this.
I just haven't. I hated this movie.
Which is also being straight up rebooted.
Yeah,
in this universe.
In the universe, I was like, what? And isn't James Gunn supposed to direct it?
Yeah, he is directing it.
Oh my lordy! I hope it's good.
Oh, the cast looks phenomenal.
Who is the cast?
A lot of the same people, but the Joker's not coming back. So Jared Leto's
out. Gosh,
and Will Smith is out.
Oh.
So they might do Deadshot again, but if they do it, they'd recast him.
Yeah,
Margot Robbie's back.
Heck yeah.
What's his name? Joel Kinnaman. Rick Flag. He's coming back. I think. Who's Boomerang? Scroll down. Scroll down.
Couldn't tell you.
I'm gonna know the second. See it. More. Wow, he doesn't even get.
Well, I could.
It'll come to me in a bit. Oh.
I mean, I could look it up later or after. The trailer for this movie, I just gotta say, it's fantastic.
They're fun.
Had me so hyped for the movie, and then I watched it, and it just left me sad.
It's so far from what the previous 2 movies were. Right, like Man of Steel was a very grounded, dark, pretty brutal superhero movie. Right?
Oh, it's brutal.
People die. The city gets destroyed. Ever Superman.
Even darker, really.
They're not very bright. Even color palette, they're not bright movies. They're very dark.
Well,
and then
there are some very bright scenes.
Yeah, but generally.
Yeah. It's always overcast.
And this movie. Now, this is interesting. And I think that this movie is a knee-jerk reaction, as I call it.
Yeah.
To the negative feedback to Batman vs Superman, because they released that first trailer and it looked dark. It looked kind of creepy, to be honest.
It did. It did.
It didn't look like you were going to be comfortable for this movie. But then 3 or 4 more trailers got released, and progressively, if you go back and watch them, they
Yeah.
get brighter in
Right,
color.
Yeah.
And like you see that poster there, how it's like green and pink, that becomes like the color scheme of the movie.
Yeah, there's so much of it, and it's not good. Like, whoever color graded this movie got some real bad feedback. Like I don't blame the actual person that sat here and color graded it because they're just doing their job. I blame the artist the director of photography that told them to do it that way.
Now, the movie's not great, but I think part of why it's not great, and I'm not excusing the other parts, is the advertising. When you watch the trailers, who do you think was the bad guy in this movie? Joker. That's who they advertised.
Oh yeah, because he's laying on the
villain.
ring of knives and the whole thing. Yeah,
right? They advertised Joker as the villain of this movie, and then you watch it, and Joker has some scenes.
He's 5 minutes of the movie.
He's a subplot. He's not even a villain. He's just there to get Harley Quinn out. And they made Enchantress, who
terrible.
Nobody knows. Straight up, like some people knew who Captain Boomerang was. You know, people know Deadshot.
I knew all of the Suicide Squad members.
Right, and you know Enchantress. It's like, well, I don't even know. And they did barely set her up.
Well, and I just don't understand.
And that's another thing. When they did set her up, the first time that people were being set up at the restaurant with the trailer style montage, they set her up as a Suicide Squad member.
Yeah,
and then made her a villain. I was like, this is.
I feel
it's confusing.
It's bad editing.
It's odd. And I will speak to that sequence I just mentioned, the scene at the dinner table where they go through flashbacks and the fancy flashy text to introduce all the characters. It looks cool.
Yeah, it's very visually
fun. Yeah. And you're introduced to all the characters. Mostly. There's a few they left out.
Yeah,
and then you wait 10, 15 minutes. They do the exact same purpose again. They go to the prison, reintroduce you to your characters, and tell you all their motivations and characteristics again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then when they're in the city doing their mission, they do the same thing again, slower.
They're trying to do the rule of three, I think, of like, they're trying to really make you feel for these people that they're not, like, they're bad because of circumstances, is what they're trying to reinforce, and it just does not work. Like,
yeah,
they're just bad people. I don't feel bad for them.
Now, that being said, El Diablo is my favorite character in this movie. He's the fire guy.
Yeah.
Because you see like genuine restraint and guilt and remorse for what he's done, and I think his story is the best in the movie.
Yeah, I
you know, he like killing his family on purpose or an accident, right? I think he killed one of them on purpose, and then his kids on accident. That's a little unclear. But you know, and then him trying to like, you know, I'm not going to use these powers anymore, right? I like it. It's a good character for this movie, and I think, like even him like not fighting for the first battle and a half.
Yeah.
Right. It works. Harley Quinn, I think, is also good in this movie.
She's my favorite character.
That's why she got her own movie.
And that's
her own movie.
That's my justification for why Harley Quinn is my favorite in this movie, is because Harley Quinn is just an awesome character in general, like in the Batman video games.
Yep.
Everything. She's such a unique character. It's so cool.
You want a fun fact? Harley Quinn did not start off as a comic book character.
No, she.
They introduced her in the Batman animated series on TV, and then she became a character. Now there's comic books and everything about her.
I knew that. And it's cool. She has a really redemptive arc. But so this movie, the color palette for this movie actually makes me feel depressed when I watch it. Like, I'm not even like being facetious here or like hyperbolic. Like, this movie leaves me feeling sad because it's gross looking. Like, and you'd think it looks good. The opening scene is Joker in this pink and green Audi R8 ripping down the streets with neon blue lights and Batman chasing him. Like, you think, oh, this is gonna be great.
Flashy.
Easy, flashy, and you think, oh, this is gonna be great.
Techno fun.
And then the rest of the movie is just, it's literally nighttime for like.
Well, it takes place over a night.
I know, so I know that, so I'm not upset about the setting. It's just like there
is lights, but they're odd and off-putting.
Yes, and it distracts
especially
me.
with Enchantress.
Yeah, and it just makes me feel sad. I'm just like this is dark and gross, and this movie could have been so good.
And truthfully, I think originally it was going to be good.
I think a lot.
Maybe not fantastic. David Ayer.
What else has he done?
He did Bright.
Oh, that movie's also bad. End of watch?
He wrote it.
Oh, okay.
Go to director there.
I'm blind. Where is it?
Third one over after Jump 2. Down.
I see it. Okay, right.
Bright. Suicide Squad. Fury. That's a good
That's
movie.
Actually a good movie, okay.
Sabotage, End of Watch. So he has done something.
Okay, well, this guy didn't seem like he knew how to direct.
Well, okay, and so I'll tell you this. So we're going forward a little bit. We're talking about Snyder Cut and Justice League. David Ayer has come out and said that his version of Suicide Squad was not released. It got tampered with.
Yes, I remember this.
So he's pushing for a David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. And, I mean, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Cool, I'd love to see it. But, yeah. Talk about another issue of the movie is editing. Not so much on a micro level.
Oh, there's so many jumps.
It's as you go. The biggest problem is payoffs to setups.
There's so many, like, if I watched this movie, I bet you I could count, like visibly, like not like like I could count definitively the amount of times you don't actually see punches land.
Well, they don't punch that often, so.
But I'm talking like, or even like you don't actually see something connect with something else.
But that's not even.
But I'm talking on a fight scene level. It's just cut. Like
you see enough.
I don't, maybe
the editing issue of Suicide Squad is, I'll tell you, the golden example is Captain Boomerang, this pink little unicorn.
Oh yes.
There's the trailer flashy thing, and it says fetishes, pink unicorns. Fast forward, and they're getting geared up, they're getting dressed, and kind of embarrassed, he takes his unicorn and he puts it in his jacket. Yeah. First fight scene, he swings, unicorn flies out of his jacket. Fight ends, he goes, "Oh, Pinky!" and he picks it up and he puts it back in. Then, second fight scene, he's fighting someone, one of the creatures, I don't even know what to call him.
Yeah.
Takes a knife, stabs him in the chest. Oh no, he died. Probably not. And he sits up. Oh. And he reaches into his jacket because something stopped the blade. And based on everything that I told you and the location where he was stabbed, right there, you're supposed to think, oh, it was the unicorn. The unicorn saved his life. Oh my gosh. But he pulls it out and it's a stack of money that we have no idea where it came from.
Yeah,
I
remember
no
this.
sense.
Yeah, it was. We talked about that even before all of this, and it was just terrible. It just this movie,
and I touched on it a little before. You don't have to introduce your characters and their motives and their abilities three times. I think it would be slightly better if you cut the whole trailer thing out of the restaurant.
Or just do it in the restaurant.
She puts the book down, cut to them. Cool. We're gonna figure out Suicide Squad, I guess. And then when they go to the prison, because that's when you're gonna see them in person, then you do your basic introductions to these characters. Because that's when you should be doing it. Because at least you get a sense of where they are now and like what they're fighting for.
Now, this is the last thing. What were Warner Brothers execs trying to build with Suicide Squad?
Are you talking about the post-credits scene?
Yes, I don't understand this movie's placement in this extended universe. I have no idea how it was even remotely supposed to fit in.
Well, so I'll answer that.
Is it supposed to be Justice League versus Suicide Squad at some point? Like,
it's what would happen if Superman was gone, because he is gone. Well, we'll get bad guys to do his job instead.
Right.
On the one time that something actually supernatural happened.
Fair.
Listen, it doesn't make sense, really. I think it could have, it should have, but it didn't. Now, I don't hate Suicide Squad, but I don't like it that much. It has a lot of problems, and if I'm gonna skip a movie while I'm watching through, it's probably gonna be one of them will probably be Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
What's your sentence?
If you're gonna sit down and you really just want to watch all the DCU movies, you're a big fan, enjoy it as best as you can. The visuals in this movie are actually pretty good. Like the actual effects themselves are actually pretty nice. Some of them are nice. Some of the Enchantress stuff doesn't look so good.
And the monsters look
good. But some of the effects are really well done. And if you just want to watch a creepy, weird cast of characters,
fall asleep to a DC movie, this is the one.
That's the best way to put it.
Let's move on to the next one. Wonder Woman.
Ooh, I am excited for Wonder Woman. Now, again, preface, I hadn't watched this until yesterday. But freaking good movie. Just overall.
Yeah.
And like
I think so. Let's see. I gotta make sure I'm on the screen here. Batman Superman here is dark. They tried to make it lighter and more lighthearted with Suicide Squad. They went over here
too far.
And people were like, don't want that. So they brought it back and realized they want darker. They didn't go back to here. They kind of went here.
They could have gone a little darker with Wonder Woman.
They could have, but it's not all laughing and jokes the whole time.
No, it isn't. There is some serious stuff.
Yeah, which is good. It fits.
Like the scene with when the general throws in the gas mask when he betrays all of Germany. But the whole point of the movie up until that point was to create a gas that went through gas masks, and he's just being a monster. That was cool.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, that's crazy. The opening to this movie, great.
Are you talking about the Bruce Wayne truck delivering the picture?
Yeah. Cool intro. Set your universe a little bit, just a little bit of like, hey, we're still here. Like, it's not thrown in your face, like other ones. It's actually like, hey, we're still in this world, right? And then I love that it's just a retelling. Like, it's just Diana sitting there in her office just retelling this story. I love that. I think it was great. And it does Batman v Superman a little bit of favor, or like it gives a bit of a payoff to seeing Wonder Woman, because it's like Bruce is talking to her, like builds their relationship a little bit.
Who are you? Where were you? What have you done?
Yeah. So I think I enjoyed that, but also just like because if you don't know, Wonder Woman's an Amazonian. She's a demigod. She's a daughter.
Kind of a god, actually.
Well, she's a demigod because.
But there's no human in her. She's a god. That's why Ares is her brother.
But we don't know if Hippolyta's a god or not. Amazonians weren't gods.
She didn't birth her. They sculpted her out of clay, and then Zeus made her. That's why her and Ares are brothers, or brother and sister. She's straight up a god.
I don't know, because there's the one-off. Because then there's the line where it talks about Zeus having an affair with. There's a couple lines that talk about Zeus having an affair with the queen.
in this movie?
Yes, there is definitely in this movie. I just watched it.
I watched it last week, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe it was just
it's mythological that Zeus cheats, but
okay.
It's not.
Anyway, but the mythology scenes of this movie,
like
look,
the stories,
yeah, they look awesome. Yeah. I want to watch a whole movie in that art style.
Yeah.
Like when you see Zeus on the mountain and fighting Ares and stuff in the clouds, like that's cool. I would love to see more of that. I think they had way too much of young Diana in this movie. Like little kid Diana. Yeah. I was like, this is like 10, 15 minutes of her as a little kid. Like, this is a lot.
If not more.
Yeah, if not more. And I was like...
It's a while.
And I get it. You're really establishing who she is. But it's like, okay, this is way too long. Give me like 2 minutes of her, like, running away from school, going to train, and then just like... Because I feel like this movie drags on a little bit.
At the beginning.
At the beginning, it is very slow.
Yeah.
But you are rewarded for that with that battle scene on the beach.
Yeah.
Because that is one of the coolest DC fight scenes ever. Yeah. Like, to date. Because you have this whole theme of this movie of, like, taking something that's really old, and then placing it in something that's really new. The camera's all weird. But, because you have, like, Diana, or you have just the Amazonians in general who don't know anything about the world. Yeah. But then all of a sudden German ships show up on their shores with rifles and bullets, and they have to like defend themselves.
They do pretty well.
They do really well. That chick...
There's what? Two deaths that you see at least?
There's a couple more, for sure. You just kind of see bodies full. Yeah. But shout-outs to the girl, the Amazonian, I don't know who it was, who has a rope strapped to her waist, jumps off the cliff.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, but you see one girl in specific do it, shoots the arrow into the cliff, and then just, like, hangs there. I was like, that's incredible!
Are you talking about the hanging part?
No, I'm talking on the beach. They're jumping off the cliff.
When she's hanging?
Yeah.
She's dead.
No, but
after she got shot.
No, but I'm saying before that.
Swings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's cool. And, like, the way they use the horse...
Yep.
Like as Amazonians is so cool, and you see that later on in Justice League and stuff. Like it's
we'll get
a little bit.
We'll get to
just a touch.
But the Amazonians in this movie are definitely
they're
shown
so
as competent.
Cool and so good. I know what you're gonna. I know, and I knew that was gonna come up.
Now, well, there's something else. This is a female superhero movie. There's not a lot of them. And there was a way that they could have gone, and I don't want to sound like a pig when I say this.
Yeah.
What they could have done was made her, when she leaves Themyscira and goes to the world, that she's just this unstoppable power, and all the men are just lazy and incompetent.
Yeah.
I like that they don't do that. Yes, she's definitely an unstoppable force, and like she wrecks house when she starts fighting.
Oh man.
But like Steve Trevor and his band of Merry Misfits are not useless.
No, they are not.
And even so, Charlie is the sniper in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, he
not much.
You know, he doesn't shoot anyone, but it's not because they're like, oh, he's just a man and can't do anything. But it's actually to prove a point about
World War I,
that he's like
cool.
Scarred and he just sleeps and he sees ghosts. That's why he can't take another life.
Yeah.
That's a cool story point. Yeah. Right? And
the Native American guy too. That's a cool story point as well. Like that is, again, I've said it so many times on this cast already. I like when you do those little nuancy things that add something new. Character moments and these like moments where you change it up and you change the narrative and you add something that is unique. We need that. And so it also reminds me of all of those movies where like with like even Superman as a kid, right? Trying to figure out how to like be an alien among men.
Yeah.
You have the same thing here with Diana trying to figure out how to be a god among people, but it is done so much better.
And one of the cool things to do is throughout the movie, pretty much until the end of the movie, she's kind of naive about everything. She has kind of this kiddish like optimism about her ability. right? And I think if you did that in most movies, it would become annoying so fast.
Yeah.
I would check out. But it makes so much sense,
Yes.
right? The way they set it up, there's no reason for her to not be that way.
Yeah.
Now, I based on the trailers for the next Wonder Woman movie, she won't be that way.
No.
And I think if they continued that, it wouldn't make sense because she's seen enough in this movie and done enough that if you kept it going on and on, it wouldn't work.
They'll do a little like.
But she, the way that they started off in this world, she's like, well, if I just kill Ares, the war will stop. War will stop, and that's it. That's all. And also, what an interesting message that the movie has is like, well, listen, maybe it's Ares, maybe it's, but like, what if it's not? I just like, you don't think I'm telling the truth? Like, well, I don't know, but like maybe we're not all good and we're not all bad, but maybe good people make bad decisions and stuff. And then she has to kind of learn that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a coming of age story.
Yeah.
In the sense that like a child loses their innocence to the world.
Yeah.
And she's no longer ignorant to the ways of the human world.
Yeah.
And there are also some also shout outs to Chris Pine. Very good.
He did really good.
Really good in this movie.
Even though he's kind of Steve Rogers.
Yeah, they're very much the same characters.
Yeah.
This one is Steve Rogers is a little less bureaucratic though.
Yeah, less of a spy.
Yeah, less of it actually. And I love that. I love that this guy is like, yeah. Chris Pine's not dead. We didn't see him die, right? Like
he's dead. They're bringing him back for the next one. I'm not really sure.
I don't think he's dead.
It's magic or something.
I don't think he's dead.
Well, okay.
Because you don't see him die.
Are you saying he's not dead for Wonder Woman 1984, or he's not dead now?
He's not dead for 1984.
Because if he was still alive, he'd definitely be dead now.
Oh yeah. No. Chris Pine is definitely Steve Trevor in 1984.
Are you saying that because he was in the trailer?
No, I'm saying that because it's the trope in every Hollywood movie where you don't see the physical person die. They're probably coming back. And if the rest of the Warner Brothers DCU has anything to tell us, they don't really like to keep their characters dead.
He's dead, but they're bringing him back through magic or something.
He flies the plane up at the end, and it explodes. But which we've seen him survive from worse. He falls out of a plane at the beginning of the movie. Why couldn't he do it?
He was in the plane, and he almost died.
Exactly, but he almost died, and he didn't.
Diana didn't save him from the explosion.
We don't know
1,000 nuclear gas bombs.
She could survive it, though.
When did she go up there?
I'm just saying, I'm just saying it's the typical movie trope. You don't see them die. They're probably not dead. No. You don't see a body. There's no actual mourning or anything besides Diana touching the picture.
And the band of Merry Misfits behind her.
Sure. But look, there is 100% I'm telling you he's not dead. He does not die.
They are bringing him back.
No, he's not dead. Sorry.
Cool fight scene. You were talking about the beach. The one that I like more.
It's so good.
No Man's Land into that small town.
Yeah, but that one is the reason I didn't pick that one is because it was all over the trailers and stuff. You see her in the trailers doing that, and so I was like, wasn't as a surprise to me as seeing all the Amazonians charge the beach, and there are actual stakes on that battle because Antiope or whatever her name is dies, her sister-in-law or aunt or whatever. Yeah. However, the hierarchy of humans works in the Amazonians. Yeah.
But I like that they're just telling her we need to move, we need to go, we can't do anything here. Just well, screw you.
I'm doing it anyway.
And she goes out and just takes on No Man's Land, which they set up really well as No Man's Land being the ultimate threat of getting to the other side. Yeah. And it's not. She doesn't just walk over.
No, she struggles a little bit.
Right. Or she's holding the shield and.
Well, she starts just by doing her gauntlets, and then it wraps up, and she's like, "Oh crap!" And then she has to do the shield, and man, gotta say though, that shield didn't take a scratch.
Yeah, it's Amazonian metal. Man, when in the small town stuff, that's when she just wrecks.
She literally takes up that whole squad in that building.
And so like 2 big moments when she just flips a tank with her bare hands. Whoa! And then when the guys do the shield thing and lift her into the bell tower, and she just demolishes.
And you get that payoff because of the beach scene, because she's like shield, and it's so cool. Like, and I think the director did something really good here. You're mixing gun and swordplay actually really well.
Yeah.
Because a lot, and I'll go back to Batman v Superman, because this is where I notice it a lot. At the end, Batman and Superman are friends now. He's going to go save Martha. Batman's going to go save Martha. He's in the building.
Yeah.
All of those guys have just like fully automatic machine guns. None of them barely shoot at Batman.
Are you talking about the end?
Yeah.
That's because he disabled all the guns.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, but think of just the Batman trope anyway, though.
Yeah.
Of him in any time in the animated series. They just stand, they don't shoot at him. Yeah. Because it would be so unfair as Batman being a melee character that he would just get shot at all the time.
Yeah.
So you have to come up with a creative, unique way, like disabling the guns, to make him go melee only, or else it just isn't fair. It doesn't set the stakes very well.
Yeah.
But they do that really well here, because like
they do shoot.
They do shoot, and Diana just like dodges, and like there are stakes there, and honestly, I think Diana, like Wonder Woman, hasn't fully realized all of her powers yet either.
Well,
because like she's not like rushing.
They're definitely doing more in the next movie.
Well, even in Justice League too, and even in Batman v Superman, when you see her, she is way more.
Yeah.
Like she just straight up like Mercury speed runs.
Yeah.
At somebody. She doesn't do that in this movie because I don't think she's realized it yet.
Yeah.
Which I think again is cool. But yeah, the No Man's Land, the villain again. No Man's Land is good. The villain in this movie. Which one? Because like there's like 3 of them, and it's cool.
Who are you seeing? Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
So you got Dr. Gas,
Dr. Poison, and then Ludendorff, and then what do they call him? Sir Henry,
Sir Patrick,
Sir Patrick.
Which
the fact that they did a twist was cool.
It's not a very good one. I figured it out,
but it was a little obvious. Other twist: Diana's the God Killer. Yeah, no, duh. They basically tell you.
They tell you right at the beginning. They have
like,
this.
They make it like this big moment. They just like, you're the God Killer. Just like, it's like we all do.
Literally, when they were like, we have the God Killer locked away in this tower or whatever. It's like that's a lot of work for a queen.
The last thing Zeus made was the God Killer. By the way, Zeus made. I wonder if she's a God Killer, and then we mustn't tell her what she is. If she knows, then we'll find her.
Man,
I wonder if she's the God Killer. It was really, really not subtle.
I hated that about that when she was on the Mascara. The whole thing of like nobody would tell her. It's like, excuse me, what is telling her gonna do?
Yeah.
Like I don't see the logic there, of like, oh, you're the God Killer. Ares will just find you now. Like I don't
bring him to the island. Sure, have him face down against 1,000 Amazons.
Literally have him face down against 1,000 people bred to destroy him.
Yeah.
Oh no! Right? Like I don't know. The stakes there were not set up very well.
Also, good movie. I'm not bashing it.
It's really great.
The end of the movie. It's not great.
We talked about
the final fight is really orange for some reason.
Because it's flames
and it's not. I don't love it. And then I feel like because it was a female, they kind of said like, you know what, we have to have her win with the power of love.
Oh.
And I was like, it's kind of cheesy. A better line would have been, I believe in humanity, and then she wins.
Way to just denounce all of the credit you built up by making her independent and like all of these crazy things, to just like cheaply say, oh, I'm in love with, I like this human who just died. So
there was like a few moments of setup for this whole love theme. It wasn't done really well, and then she says, "I believe in love" at the end. It feels out of place.
It does not go well, and I'm like, that's a bad directorial choice.
Yeah.
And like, I just was very upset. There was no.
And then
Also
let me just say something else, because something was not made clear to me. She kills Ares, and then soldiers start hugging each other. Is the movie trying to say that Ares actually did, like, was he the actual cause of there being a war?
Well, yes, that's their mythology. That's how the world is set up.
But then, if Ares is dead, why are people still?
Well, because
evil
they killed Ares.
later?
Because they killed Ares. Zeus killed Ares a long time ago, but they're gods. They don't fully die. They just wait.
Ares is fully dead now.
Uh,
In this world, gods die.
Okay, I see the weird plot hole there.
Right, because
of the rest of the
Justice,
war.
Justice League, which is
we could say dark. We could just
opens with human villains like threatening a museum with a bomb.
We could just say that that's dark side.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying,
because the point of it was that the war wasn't actually Ares. That people are just not all good and not all bad.
Well,
but then when you killed Ares, then everyone was all lovey-dovey with each other.
And I would make the argument that if Ludendorff was Ares, then it would make sense that his specific army was so evil with the gas and everything like that. Yeah. Then when he dies, that they become less evil. But that's not the case here. So I don't know.
It's just a little confusion.
Yeah.
That is not really explained.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one because it gets a little muddled there.
I don't think it ruins the movie.
No.
In fact, my sentence, because we should move on.
Yeah, we should.
It's a good movie. It's not the tone that was set up in the first movies, but for what it is, it's really good, and I think it fits well in this universe.
It sets the origin story for the next two that come out. They're very similar.
Yeah.
And I like that. We got Justice League next. Yeah. I would say this isn't.
Click the box.
Yeah. This also came out in 2017.
Yeah.
November. It just came out right on my birthday. So, yeah, last thing on Wonder Woman. It's one of the better DC movies by far. It's fantastic. Don't wait 3 years to watch it like I did. Yeah.
Justice League. Let's preface this with just put it out there. What do you hate more, Suicide Squad or Justice League?
Suicide Squad. I hate that way more than this movie.
I hate Justice League more.
Shout out to Henry Cavill's. Spoilers! Superman's not dead because apparently there are no stakes.
But he is dead in this movie, even though we were told he wasn't dead. He's dead for the first hour of this movie.
Yeah, and then he comes back, and it's a stupid thing. Shout out to Henry Cavill.
Scroll down. I want to see what the official plot stops, or maybe not official. Fueled by his restored faith in humanity, inspired by Superman's selfless act, Bruce Wayne enlists the help of his newfound ally, Diana Prince, to face an even greater enemy.
First of all, Steppenwolf, not a greater enemy than Doomsday. Maybe
he even looks worse. The effects in this movie
are
garbage,
bad. Dude. They spent all their budget covering up Henry Cavill's mustache, and they didn't even do that good.
The mustache thing looks so weird, and what's even worse, that's the first shot of the movie.
Yep.
And you just tell it's like something's wrong.
That's wrong. I watched that in theaters and I was like, that doesn't look right. Right? Like I was like, as just an average, above average moviegoer, I was like, that looks bad.
Yeah. Steppenwolf doesn't look good.
I don't want to trash on the VFX team for this movie because like they have so much time and money and they try their best and it's, I'm sure it's a very hard industry. So like. Good on you for producing the good effects that are in this movie, though.
Okay, well, let's address the elephant in the room. Hold on, Mr. Elephant. The Snyder Cut is coming out.
Oh, praise the Lord!
What is the Snyder Cut? Zack Snyder, who directed Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, and then produced Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman. He might have, though he didn't.
No.
He did not write. He just gave
He had a plan to.
He just gave them money. He wrote Justice League with this plan in mind.
2-part Justice League.
Actually, it was 3 part.
Was it? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it was a cool plan. He starts making this movie, and of course the studio gets their hands on it and changed a little bit, but he has something close enough to what he wants coming out. Then, unfortunately and sadly, his daughter passed away, so he stepped back from the movie and said, I really, really need to take some time with my family and just not be at work right now.
Just grieve.
Totally reasonable.
More than reasonable. Yeah.
And honestly, as someone who was pumped for Justin to come out, if it had been delayed a couple of years, I wouldn't have even complained.
I would have been happy.
I don't get it, but I understand why you would want. Like, I've never experienced a loss like that, but I can only think that I can imagine about it. And you have all the right to take your time off. But instead of giving him time off, and he can finish his movie later, they hired Joss Whedon, who doesn't even get a directorial credit for this movie.
Which he should.
To finish the movie. He came in, said, wow, I don't like this. Joss Whedon directed the Avengers 1 and 2, by the way. So he's done superhero ensembles before. And reshot most of the movie.
80% of the movie.
To be a Joss Whedon style movie. And it did not work out very well.
Because you still have Zack Snyder's writing, but with Josh Whedon's directing, and they just...
But he rewrote... Like, if you scroll down, he's under writing.
Does he actually have a writing credit?
He rewrote a bunch of it.
Oh, shoot!
So, hit 9 more credits.
Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's...
So, take us down.
Yeah,
Joss Whedon. Screenplay by... And the story by Zack Snyder.
Crazy. Man, like... I love Warner Brothers, but... Dang.
So, he rewrote most of the movie. So... and then people did not like Justice League, including us. Me more than him.
The only reason I like Justice League is because it's just satisfying to finally see a live-action Justice League movie.
Is it though?
I think there is some.
I think you also have a little bias because it was like one of your first movies too, from the DC one.
No, my first one was Man of Steel,
then
Suicide Squad.
Also, your expectations were low going in.
Yeah, they were. So that's why maybe I like it better.
Superman looks weird.
Yeah, stupid lip.
Flash is an idiot.
The
whole movie.
I like Ezra Miller as Flash.
I think he would have been awesome.
I think the way they wrote him sucks, but I will say I enjoy this younger Flash if they would just give him any more level of competence than the one that he had.
Listen, and here's the problem with it. The only thing that Flash does is run. And in this movie, he can't do that.
Which I like.
He's incapable of running.
I like that though.
And it just ruins like 10 scenes. He trips all the time.
Yeah, but because think of the weight that is on this 19-year-old shoulders of like rubbing elbows with also Wonder Woman and Batman.
Go back to Batman vs Superman. They did not depict him this young, and I think so. The Snyder cut, because I didn't finish that.
Yeah,
is because people got upset with the way that this was done by Joss Whedon. They wanted Zack Snyder to come back and make the movie that he intended to make. And after years of petitions and like cast members and producers and writers saying, yeah, this should probably happen, they finally said it's going to happen. So we're getting it next year, a 4-hour cut of Justice League.
4 hours of awesomeness, baby.
On HBO Max.
Yeah, which we're going to have to get a subscription for.
Yeah, or a free trial.
VPN.
Which is awesome, actually. But the version we're talking about is not Snyder Cut because it hasn't come out.
Well, and so, so back to the Flash thing. You're right. Flash sucks in this movie.
I think in the Snyder Cut, he'll at least be able to run 20 feet without falling over.
Okay. I like that Flash fell over. I think they did it way too much.
They did it way too much.
I think if he falls over the very first mission, Okay, cool. He's
Maybe.
getting the jitters.
Maybe.
Getting the jitter. He's 19, whatever, however old he is. He's rubbing elbows with the Bruce Wayne, Batman, Diana Prince, a cyborg, and all these other things. Like the dude's way out of his league. There are so many cool things that you could have done there, and he plays a very integral part of the movie, though.
Yep.
He's literally the thing that brings Superman back to life.
Yep.
Which is cool. I think I like that. I don't
Underused in this movie. Cyborg.
He does
almost nothing.
He hacks
pulls the mother boxes away.
He hacks the mother boxes, and that is it. I don't even think you see him use any weapons. Do you see him like shoot anything?
He does shoot Superman, because that's what sets him off.
Right. Okay.
But it's like his defense system, which I don't really explain, and I feel so bad for the actor.
Yeah.
Is it Ray Fisher?
Yeah, it was.
Because Ray Fisher.
For sure.
Man, like what a cool superhero to play.
So cool.
And you just get spit on. Like, oh my days.
And again, it's the same thing. It's the exact same writing of like, he's just literally a college student, whatever. He gets way more messed up than the Flash does. Yeah, it sucks. Like he is so, yeah.
Batman. I'm just kind of going around the poster here.
Yeah.
Batman's kind of weird because he just wants to kill himself the whole movie. Right at the end, he's like, "You guys are gonna stay here, and I'm gonna go and do this." And they're like,
but think of how long he's been doing it, though.
Then set up the team and retire. Don't try and kill yourself.
Nah, he wants to go in a hero's death. Okay, he's not going out in some pansy thing, sipping margaritas in Bruce Wayne's villa type of thing. Okay, that ain't going.
It's also weird. So, like, his interactions with Superman in this movie are just awkward. Like, so the first one, like, Superman, like, strangles him and says, "I remember you. Do you bleed?" Which is just, it's a callback.
Because that's what he says.
But it's an odd callback.
Yeah.
It's like, well, he would bleed. He's a human being. You know that. And then Batman's like,
yeah.
And then in Russia, which
is so
a weird small Russian town for your final.
Yeah,
that was kind of weird. And then Superman comes back. He's like, "I guess you missed me, huh?" And Batman's like, And that's kind of it. And then they talk about Bruce Wayne buying the bank that was going to steal Martha Kent's house.
Yeah,
and that's like the three interactions they have in the movie.
Yeah, but think about it. You almost got this man killed. Like think about it from Bruce Wayne. You have a dark force telling you to kill this being, so you almost this god, so you almost kill it. But then it turns out your parents share the same name, so that suddenly just makes you allies, and you fight to the death until the god dies.
Yeah.
It's a lot of weird.
And maybe the first interaction is awkward, but then when he comes back, you fought together before.
Barely though.
It was a pretty big fight.
We don't see. That's the thing I don't like about action movies. It's really hard to tell the actual length of the battle. For all we know, that could have taken place in 10 minutes.
Well, screen time's a little over 10 minutes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like we don't know on like the storyboard like how long. So like we don't know that, you know. So like I don't know. I thought that was fine. And I think Bruce Wayne's
he's far from the worst part of this movie.
I think he's just tired. Like he's just like.
And that's why he's not coming back. Except he might be coming back, but probably not.
Probably not. No, but I think just like Batman, the character is just like he's done. He's just like, you know what? I'm kind of over this now. I've done it my entire life almost. Whatever. Yeah. Like, here we go. Next heroes. Here's my money. Protect the world. Like I think he's like, he's over it, and I think that plays into why he just wants to die.
Yeah.
I think he also probably feels some remorse, like guilt, from the last movie, like Batman and Superman. I think he probably is like still reeling at that because we see that in this movie.
Yep.
Is this where we get? Is this the movie where we get the shower coming out of the shower? You see his ripped back.
That's BBS.
Okay.
You see a couple of his muscles in like one scene. That's it.
Right. With Diana, because she's sitting there and she's like touching his muscles. Right.
Aquaman. He's pretty cool in this movie.
I think he's underused again still. Which, to be fair, they placed him in like the worst place to be Aquaman, so like very much he can.
He has fun though, and he's obviously
like
stronger, and like, in comparison to, the first one I mentioned, he's actually competent. He knows how to do what he does. The weird thing about him is he just like he kind of outs Bruce Wayne as Batman in front of a whole small town. And it's like, I don't know that you should be doing that right now.
I think that's the least of their worries in that moment. What are those people gonna do? Nobody's gonna believe them, right?
Well,
like Bruce ain't gonna care about that. There's no video cameras or any like. I don't know. I liked Aquaman. Also, okay, when does the movie Aquaman take place in that timeline? Does it take place after Justice League?
Yeah.
How come he doesn't have a trident in Aquaman then, but he has a trident here?
Because there's two different writers, and this movie makes no sense.
Okay.
That's why.
That's the whole point of Aquaman is him get like in
Aquaman.
Yeah.
There's one throwaway line in reference to this movie. Okay, and in this movie, he meets Hera, right? Who's Amber Heard.
Oh yeah, he does meet
the red-haired girl in Aquaman.
Yeah, he does. Forgot about that.
He meets her. They know each other in this movie. In Aquaman, they're meeting for the first time.
Yeah, because I think the writer was like, "We're just gonna forget just what happened," and I don't blame him.
Wonder Woman is probably the most consistent character.
Yeah.
She's well done.
Shout outs to Gal Gadot, by the way.
Do you want to hear a fun fact?
Just like crushing this role.
She did crush this role. So there's a scene. It's like early on in the movie during one of the kind of action scenes, and the bad thing's like crawling up like the tube or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And then Flash runs down with Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And they fall.
And he flicks the sword.
And Flash's face like lands on her boobs.
Oh. Yeah.
Joss Whedon wrote that because that's like a staple in the movies apparently because it happened in Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron too, yeah.
And they showed Gal Gadot and she's like, I'm not doing that. That's gross. That's inappropriate. I'm not doing that. So when you see that and there's a girl on the ground and Flash falls to the space, that's not Gal Gadot.
Huh.
They used a stunt woman that looked like her in the costume for that scene, and then the next scene is here up on Gal Gadot, and they like act surprised that she went, like that, but she had no idea that was in the movie until it was released.
I don't like that from a directorial.
That's pretty weird.
I don't like that from a directorial standpoint. If your actor's like super uncomfortable about it, don't like.
It's weird.
It's weird. It's a dumb scene, and it was dumb when Bruce falls on Black Widow.
Yeah.
It's a dumb trope.
Yeah, it's not that funny either.
No, it's not. It's just awkward. Everybody knows that that's just an awkward scene.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the bat tech in this movie.
Yeah.
Really good. Well done.
It looks cool. A lot of it kind of gets destroyed really fast. But
I think that's kind of the point, though.
But it looks cool.
Doesn't serve a good purpose, though. Okay, the Latin.
Superman. Mustache looks awful.
Cool.
Or the lack of mustache.
Cool black suit when he comes back, though.
Not in the movie.
Is that only in
a piece of concept art? And in a deleted scene, you see the black suit.
Oh, it's the deleted scene I'm thinking of then. Because dang it, bring him back in the black, man. That would have been so cool.
Snyder cut?
He'll be wearing black.
Oh yeah,
he'll
probably have a beard too, to be honest.
Just I gotta say something. Okay, so we're talking about the Henry Cavill's mustache. I went on to like Reddit and like Mission Impossible is like my favorite movie, one of my favorite movie franchises.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know, the reason Henry Cavill and Justice League gets a ton of flack for Superman in this movie is because Henry Cavill's character, Mission Impossible 6, which he was filming at the same time, has a mustache, and so Superman historically has never had a mustache, so they had to CG out his mustache. But they did it really odd. They did like a full lip. Like nose down.
His lip is really big.
Yeah, they did like a full nose down, like face replacement, and it's bad. Like
there's something wrong with the lip.
You can literally tell in some parts, like they like went in with like their rotoscope or whatever, like their mirror tool, and it's bad. Like it looks blurry, and it's just like, I do not want to have to be the visual effects person sitting there doing all of that. So like props to the person that did do it, but
It
it doesn't look good, and I don't think it's anybody's fault.
Also, Superman's weird in this movie.
I don't like him.
He comes back and he's kind of like he's evil, but he seems like a kid who's pretending to be evil. He's like, I'm a bad guy," type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is what the heck. And then he comes to fight. They have a nice scene with him and Lois on the farm, and it's like classic.
Yeah, it's a good scene.
You know, Man of Steel, Batman, Superman. Then he goes to Russia to fight, and he has like this newfound like corniness, and
You could just tell
and
it's a different
camp.
writer.
And like it's very like cartoony, like from when Superman was in the cartoons. That's exactly what he's like. But he has not been established as this at all.
He's comedic
just-
relief in some parts.
And he's like, "Is this guy still bothering you?" Huh? And it's like,
It's so bad.
it's like funny.
No.
It's not funny.
It's not funny.
And it's so out of place.
It's not
it
even-
feels so weird.
It's not even ironically not funny. It's just bad.
Now, last bad thing.
There's a lot
Steppenwolf.
of
I have no idea what they were trying to do. We were talking about the Amazonians.
Yeah, they just get kind of wrecked.
He shows up on Themyscira, just demolishes them.
Which apparently anybody can just find Themyscira with the snap of their fingers, apparently.
Well, he was called by the Mother Box.
Still. I don't know.
Yeah,
They just get wrecked, and it's really annoying. They have the
And
cool scene with the ropes, though.
The movie that came out earlier that year, mind you, showed them as this very competent force of people, and they just get trampled. Like he doesn't even struggle.
Oh,
He just walks through.
He shreks them straight up.
Right, and then he goes to Atlantis. What was Atlantis in this movie, which they totally retconned in Aquaman.
Yeah, they did.
And pretty much wrecks house. Aquaman like holds him back for like a second, and then he destroys everyone else, steals the boombox and goes. Other
Now,
moves.
this is also Steppenwolf isn't a god. He's just like,
alien.
is he an alien? Because
He's like with Darkseid.
Okay.
One of Darkseid's minions.
Oh, okay. Because I was always like, because it's so weird with the DC stuff, because you have the actual mythological, like the actual pantheon of Greek gods. So it's like for me it was really difficult. I was like, is this guy somehow a mythological creature from a pantheon? Okay, so that clears up a little bit. But
He's a comic book character.
so the guy's just able to breathe underwater.
Yeah,
Cool.
somehow. So you set him up as this big force, even though, I mean, it would have been more impressive if he showed some. I hate to do this, but I'm bring it to Marvel for a second. Thanos is the big bad. And the first real scene that you see him in Infinity War, Hulk fights him, and Thanos like gets hurt a little bit, and then like comes over it and then beats the Hulk.
Yeah.
And that's when you say, "Oh man, this is powerful." Not because he just went and flicked the Hulk out of the screen. You're like, "Oh, like, he's got a big flick, cool." But like, he got knocked around a little bit and then came and did it, and that's when you say, "Oh wow, that's strong." But in this movie, he just there goes the Amazon,
Yeah.
there goes Atlantis,
He's
and then so
he's too
okay,
powerful.
I guess he's strong, and then the Justice League come, and they like keep him at bay for too long, and then you find out the real point of the movie. The whole point of the movie was to bring Superman back so he could beat this bad guy. Which is why would you call it a Justice League movie if the whole point of the movie is Superman, who's dead at the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Now apparently in the original draft, right, Superman has very little to do with actually, I guess, Steppenwolf doesn't actually die in this movie, he just kind of runs away.
That's true. He'll come back.
But yeah, in the original draft, like he dies and Superman has like nothing to do with it.
Good.
Like, Aquaman and Wonder Woman kill him. So
Which makes way more sense.
and Steppenwolf looks awful.
It's terrible. All of his army looks terrible. The whole last 20 minutes of this movie with the stupid Russian family and just all the red and weird ooze, weird metal looking things that are always around. It's terrible. It's garbage. It distracts from everything. There's way too much chrome and like silver in that.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, and
Doesn't make sense.
it visually it is garbage. The action isn't even that good because it's so fake looking. This set piece, like the world that they have set up, they're fighting in this like giant like nuclear tower thing.
Yeah.
And it's so big. Apparently, anyway, it's the size of a freaking spaceship.
Yeah.
Cause like you got Aquaman who's like so tiny, like way up here, but then you got Steppenwolf. The scaling is all wrong. It's bad. And apparently Superman is just like puny when he flies up to Steppenwolf. But then in the next scene he's huge and it's just like there's so many weird camera angles and just so many like and like Batman again completely useless in this fight. Not because it's not because they wrote him to be useless in the sense that it's just that he can't do anything against a godlike character.
In this movie, apparently, even though he almost killed Superman.
Yeah, but that was because he had a completely different dark force guiding him and telling him what to do.
Batman's also just ridiculously smart and knows how to.
I'm sure he would have figured it out. You're right.
Yeah.
But it's just like this movie, he really doesn't do anything.
Nope.
And it's like
now, allow me to mention one good part.
It should be the last thing.
And then, well, I'll say this, and then we'll do our sentences. There's a scene where they talk about Steppenwolf coming to Earth the first time, and there's this big, massive battle scene that you see for a couple seconds.
This is the 5 nations and the whole thing.
That is a cool scene.
It looks good.
That's cool because you see a little Green Lantern ring up and shoot off. That looks sweet. That's a cool little thing. Like, oh, good.
Well, then you see the Atlanteans and the Amazonians and then the man and then
Green Lantern show up.
It's cool.
It's a cool scene. It's awesome. And they can't do nothing with it.
Well, yeah. Because, yeah.
My sense. So disappointment and a massive stray from the direction that was set up in the previous movies.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a movie that is. I'll say this: if it's on TV and you're doing something else, it's fine to watch. I feel like it's a good like Showtime TV movie.
Yeah, sure.
Done. Aquaman.
I believe that's what it's called.
Yes. I can't spell it. Again, Aquaman. I enjoyed this movie a lot. I'll say this: if you've seen Black Panther, you've probably seen this movie because
yeah,
they're pretty similar in story.
Okay.
Visuals of this movie,
Good.
Black Manta don't look so good in some spots.
Okay, let's start off with Black Manta because this is funny. They start the movie by setting up this villain, Black Manta. Yeah. Right, and he's like a pirate, and Aquaman just kind of wrecks him and then kills his dad. And it's this really cool.
Well, his
story.
dad was initially Black Manta, and then his son takes the role.
Right, and then of course they can't do anything against Aquaman because it's just indestructible.
He's a god.
Yeah. Right, and then he wants revenge for his dad's death.
Good motive.
Decent motive.
Good motive.
Maybe a little cheesy, but decent. Right, and it's interesting. I think it's interesting because of the moment when the dad dies, because Aquaman's like, "Yeah, I'm just not going to help you, so don't feel like it," and then the dad dies.
Yeah.
So then you bring back Black Manta later, in the very shot that you see on the trailer there.
Such a cool shot.
Yep. Bring him back, just hell bent on revenge. Cool. Except he sucks.
Oh. He sucks at being black.
They give him like this really cool suit and all this tech that's like meant to like
it's Atlantean tech that
fight
he's
Atlanteans, and he just gets demolished. He gets wrecked so
I
hard.
think the idea though is he's not, because they're doing an Aquaman 2.
Eventually, yeah.
They will be making a second one. So I think he's still young as a villain, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I think
and I will get back to him later.
this movie, okay, Jason Momoa, yeah, right, yeah, said his name right.
Jason Momoa.
Momoa, he's Samoan. I love him as Aquaman. I don't like. Having never read,
it's a cool vibe he gives.
Having never read an Aquaman comic or know a ton about him, because even in like the DC animated movies, Aquaman's just not in them that much.
Yeah.
I like him.
I think he will be more because of this movie.
Yeah, I like him. I like the vibe he gives off. He very much is like, just it's cool. They wrote him to be really well.
The orange and green outfit, which is super comic book,
which comes up that only happens at the end though. That's right at the end.
It looks good.
It does.
It's so easy for comic book costumes to look
bad,
really weird when they're on screen.
Superman.
This looks good. This
actually looks like armor. It looks like armor, and it's like
fish scales because they're in the sea, and it highlights his muscles because the dude's freaking jacked.
A concept artist spent a lot of time making it, and a CG artist took a lot of time making it. And production assistant designers too. The underwater stuff in this movie, cool. Like
the hair is really bad.
Yeah,
but for the most part, it's good.
I don't blame them for having bad hair, because like hair already is super hard to generate on a computer, let alone doing it underwater.
But you kind of see their head like this, and they're moving and they're talking in school.
Yeah,
and then here and above, it just. You can see like a line and then this
and
hair.
To their credit, like this is their first time doing a movie like that, so I'm sure the technology even is advanced for them now. I love the casting of this movie. Like I said, Jason Momoa.
What's his name? Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson
as Ocean Master.
Willem Dafoe.
Yep.
As the training guy. I don't remember his name. Who's his earthly dad?
He's the guy that plays Boba Fett. Or Jimmy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that stuff was cool. I didn't like. What's his mom's name? Like the character. Do you remember? I don't remember.
She'll be pretty high, probably. Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta. Yeah, Nicole Kidman. Shout outs to her. She crushes it in this role. And that battle scene with her, it's mostly probably stunt work, but it's still really cool.
At the lighthouse you're talking about?
That's a cool scene.
They do longer shots in this movie, and they look good.
And they love work. This shot.
Yeah, so it's the one shot of them, the two of them running through the town, and it kind of cuts between the two of them. That's a cool shot.
There's a lot of good cinematography work.
Yeah.
And
now, scroll down just a little bit. Director, James Wan.
Yeah.
What else has he done? Horror.
Yeah, lots
Quite
of horror.
a bit.
I'll get to that when we talk to Shazam, but I watched like the special feature stuff and they talk about that.
Yeah. So there's straight up a scene in this movie where they go to the trench.
That part actually creeped me out. Not gonna
creepy.
lie.
Yeah, and I like it because what I like about DC is that they're not super bright. They're darker.
They don't pull punches.
So I like that there's this horror-esque scene in the movie. Now it's not too scary that I couldn't sleep for a week, but like it's a little spooky.
And I enjoy, and I just love.
And it works.
I just love the trench, but like just the world that they've set underwater.
Yep.
Because the ocean is literally just a white canvas ready to be painted on.
Yep.
In terms of like setting and everything, and it was so cool. Atlantis looks boss. Like I want to live there.
Yeah.
Like the floaty cars and the whole, like it was cool.
Yeah. And
they do the whole like get a little environmental with it of like the Earth is killing our sea and all the submarines and the whole like whatever. The Ocean Master's motives I don't really like, but whatever. And that duel with the lava like flowing around and stuff like that. Don't understand how it works, but looks cool. Looks awesome. The battle at the end with all the giant fish and just like the sharks and the whole thing, like that's awesome.
And in that, Aquaman as a character works really well.
Yes.
And grows really well through the scenes that we're talking about. And
because
he's a great character for this movie.
The whole point of him is like he doesn't want to take up the role of like king. He kind of gives off this like surfer vibe of like, hey, I'm chill, man. I don't want to do that. Like that ain't for me. But really, and we can say this having studied a lot of leadership at our Bible college.
Yeah.
He possesses a lot of really good leadership traits, and so it's like, it's a really cool. Yeah, they play with that.
Character.
They play with that really well, and I like that they show him like training as a kid and like and like learning the ways and stuff. It was really it's really solid. The weird desert, like the weird MacGuffin, go from here, go to there, like the weird like journey stuff. I didn't quite like so much in this movie.
That was fine.
I like that they go on a journey. I just don't like that. I don't know. It would make a lot more sense if Justice League was better, because they're trying to. It would have, though, because we talked about that scene where it shows the 5 armies coming together, and they talk a lot about that in Aquaman, but it would have been so much better if Justice League had stepped it up more. So, yeah, I don't know. But I don't know much more to say about Aquaman. It is actually just a really solid movie, and you should watch it.
It's really good in light of, what had come before it, and I think, if you thought that the early movies were too dark and you didn't like them, they were too awkward, and you needed more lightheartedness and fun, it's in this. It also goes dark, as it should, I believe.
And dark is relative too in this case. Yeah. It doesn't get. It's not like murderous dark or anything like that. Like it's not. It's creepy in one part.
Yeah.
But like
it's a great movie.
DC just has a trope of doing good origin movies, apparently.
Yeah, solo movies.
Solos. Yeah. Shazam.
Is it Shazam next? I feel like I'm thinking of animated movies.
No, Shazam is next, because that is Prince Pro's the last one.
Yeah. There was one more.
I don't think so. If there is, I don't think I've seen it.
Let's do Shazam.
Yeah. Okay, Shazam.
Yeah, probably 2018.
Yeah,
and Shazam was, what, April 2019? Now, this is the first time that Logan and I are ever talking about this movie.
Didn't know Mark Strong was in it. Huge fan of Mark Strong.
Yeah.
Didn't like him too much in this movie. He's still good villain and stuff, just... I don't know. This movie freaking rocks. Honestly,
yes, it does.
It's good. It's got some, I'm gonna say, problems. It's got some things that I was a little left with questions. And there are some bad movie like tropes that it falls into, like fallacies. But other than that, it's actually really good. And I'm just gonna go right now because it's really fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for any movie with like the nuclear family dynamic type of stuff, or like when they play off of that, where they do something different. So like Billy Batson and like his upbringing and everything like that, like it's something that like just as a person that I enjoy. I don't enjoy it per se, but like it's something that I'm passionate about, and so it strikes well with me, and it's a great unique character, because all of the other superheroes we've seen so far in the DC universe really have not had the home like the same experiences that Billy has. They've had their struggles, but Billy's is so unique, and it defines him really well.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good.
You mentioned tropes. There's one that they do in this movie, but I think it works so well.
I think we're going to disagree on this.
Savannah is basically just the mirror of Shazam. He has most of the same powers.
Oh, Dr. Savion.
Yeah. Savannah.
No, this is Savion.
Savannah.
No, is it Savannah?
You can scroll down and look if you want.
Okay, anyway, it don't matter.
They're just near people altogether. So
yeah.
Billy was neglected by his mom and doesn't know his dad. Or his dad got put in prison or something.
Yeah, his dad is a Florida man.
He got neglected by his family and is trying to figure it out.
Well, he got neglected specifically by his mother.
Savannah got neglected by his family and figured it out in the sense that he decided to let it out by getting a ton of power from a wizard that he met when he was a kid and using it to
kill
his dad.
His whole motive is have you ever had your dad tell you you're worthless?
Yep.
And it's like, okay. That. Also, shout outs to John MacArthur. No. Anyway, the dad.
Lionel Luther.
Yeah, he's Lionel Luther. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything. I was just like, cool. I'm glad you get John Glover. That's who it is. He's still getting work. I was like, nice.
I love
Freddy.
that they're kind of two sides of the same coin, Shazam and Savannah.
Well, it just comes down to one choice, really.
Yeah. What are you gonna do with the power that you got and the life behind you?
It's the hand you've been dealt with. How are you gonna play it?
Yeah.
And I like that.
I like it because it's not. The movie is not about Shazam being power so he can fight someone.
No,
that's not the movie.
No,
the movie is these two guys got powers from the same place. They're very similar powers.
Wow.
One is more good. One can be good. One is bad.
Pure
evil.
It's literally the embodiment of evil.
The
seven deadly sins.
Right? And how's it going to work out? And Billy starts off on this track that, like, really, he could end up as Savannah if he keeps going, right?
And he does.
But then, he has this moment where he has this realization about family, because that's the point of this movie, is learning what family is. And guess what, Billy? It's not the mother who birthed you.
Yeah.
It's the people who are going to take you in right now, because
it's
the
the
mother who
family
did birth you doesn't want you. She actually just left you.
That was a punch in the gut, okay? That scene when he goes and meets his mom, I was like, this isn't going to end well. And boy, it didn't. But man, did he take it right on the chin and just walked away.
Yeah.
I would have, I don't know. It's so good. Also, shout outs to, I think the mom, the foster mom's name is Rosa.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the dad, Victor. Very cool characters.
The Foster family as a whole, it's just
cool.
They're such great characters.
It's
they
fun.
work so well in the movie.
It's fun.
I
don't like the ending, but we'll go through that.
What's
Sam.
the nerd?
Eugene.
No, sorry, the cripple, I guess I'll say.
Freddy. That's
Freddy.
Freddy's my favorite character in the entire movie.
Freddy's awesome.
Freddy is my.
And he works so well with Billy.
I recognize that actor from something too. I don't know.
Which one?
Freddy.
He was in It.
Nah, I wouldn't see it.
No, if you saw a trailer, he's done a few things.
Yeah. Anyway, but I guess I can look.
Also, Asher Angel and Zachary Levi, who play Billy Bats and
Yeah.
Shazam, they do so well together. Jack Dylan Grazer, that's who you're thinking of.
Yeah. Okay. I'll come up later. Okay. Also, Zachary Levi did not audition to play Shazam, so I watched the bonus features.
Yeah.
He auditioned to play adult Shazam version of Freddy, and then the director was like, "No, you're gonna be Shazam." And then this was a huge role.
Yeah.
For Levi, and he nails it as Shazam.
Two things. One, look at his arms. He's so ripped.
Gets ginormous for this movie.
And also, he does being a kid fantastically.
Super well.
I believed it, man. If you told me that Zachary Levi was actually a 13-year-old, that 14-year-old.
Almost 15.
14-year-old that was in an adult's body, man, I'd buy it.
He plays the role really, really well. And I loved it. Now
they have so much fun with his concept of being a hero too.
Yeah.
With all these superhero tasks and walking around what are we gonna do with this electric power? Oh, I'm gonna charge your phones, or let's get some money from an ATM.
Which
something like that.
So
or let's because I'm an adult, let's buy some beer. But because we're also 14, it tastes disgusting.
Or go to a strip club
multiple
times where they learn their names.
Yeah.
Now, okay, one thing about the ATM.
Yeah.
So the wizard, the beginning wizard, the original Shazam, says that he's pure of heart or whatever, and I guess they say it a couple of times where it's well, nobody's really pure of heart.
Yeah.
But straight up just robbing an ATM.
Yeah.
I feel I don't know. I didn't like it. I was and I get that what they're doing is
no one is pure heart.
No, and
That's fine.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
it totally undermines everything that Freddy stands for, because Freddy's in on it. But then later on in the movie, Freddy's like, "You're not a hero. You're just a joke. Here you are doing a sideshow." And he's got the song and he's doing the lightning to it or whatever. And I was like, you totally just undermined, like, I don't know. That part just threw me off because I was like, Freddy has established himself as this, like, he is the archetype superhero. Yeah. And they have that argument where it's like, no, I really should have gotten these powers because you suck and whatever. And I was like, that's powerful. And then just they rob an ATM before that, and I was like, I don't know. That one part threw me off. I was like,
well, in Freddy's defense, I think he got caught up in the moment of like, wow.
Yeah, I get it. I understand all of the motivations. It's just from a editing and writing and everything standpoint, I was just like, this just kind of undermines.
I think because they're doing everything really.
Well, yeah, they had the superhero manager or whatever, the whole YouTube thing, which was really cool. I wish YouTube videos uploaded that fast. Dang.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That was one of those things that I was like, not how I would have done it. That's fine. I'm not a director. It was fine. The effects in this movie,
good,
freaking spectacular.
Nice work.
Yeah. I thought about that one today, actually. That one's been sitting up here.
The Seven Deadly Sins.
They don't look so good.
Could look better. They don't look. I was gonna say they don't look fake. That's not true.
When they animate when they're statues and when there's smoke, they're fine. When you see their face and they're animated and they move in their eyes and everything, that's when they look the worst.
Yeah. They could look worse though.
They could look a lot worse.
Definitely.
They could look like Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And truthfully, they don't show them that much, so it's not awful.
It's not terrible.
Shazam,
like the powers and stuff.
Yeah.
Looks really good.
Him flying looks really good.
Yes, it does. I love that they did
it looks kind of clumsy too, because he's never.
And then he gets it near the end, but yeah. I love the speed look because it shows the colors.
Yeah. Like
a traditional Flash kind of thing. I thought that was really great.
I like that they make fun of superhero movies a little bit in this too. When right at the end is the big fight, and it's the middle of the night, and they're here and here, right, so far away. And then Savannah starts doing this whole speech. I'm going to destroy you. And demolish everything you say.
Are you doing the "I'm going to destroy you" speech?
Yeah. Shazam's over here and he can't hear a word that he's saying.
Yeah, I love that. Really I thought that was good. Thought it was good. Yeah, I'm going to get to the one part that I don't like.
Go for it. Are you talking about when everyone comes Shazam?
Yeah. Hated it. Did not like it.
I thought it worked because of the movie. The whole point of the movie is family.
Sure.
So with the power of family, they get powers, and
I just have so many questions. I just don't.
If you're saying that it's weird that they all know how to master their powers immediately.
No. I didn't care about that because you see them trying to learn. Like you see Pedro, like the green guy. Do I got this? Oh, I got this when he's holding up the Ferris wheel. Yeah. He doesn't know he can fly. No. Why wouldn't they just all keep their powers after?
What are you saying?
At the end, it's just you. At the end, you just see Shazam. Like you don't.
At the table.
Yeah, you don't ever. There's no inclination that they ever become the team again or whatever.
You didn't watch all the special features.
I watched the comics.
They do have the powers.
I watched the comic stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
There was 2 deleted scenes that were the end of the movie, but he decided.
Oh, I didn't. I don't think I got to the deleted scenes.
The director decided the movie would have been too long. It would have dragged on at the end.
Okay.
One of them was they were all watching TV, and then it's like the mom's like, "You guys need to go play outside." And they're like, "Just later. We'll do it later." And it's like, "There's a fire at this building downtown," and they look at each other and say, "Let's go play outside."
Oh, I did see that.
They all run out, and it's like they're all going to say Shazam.
I was filling out. I was doing something else. Okay.
And then there's another one where they go back to the cave.
Yeah. I remember. Okay, but even still, either way, fine.
Theatrical release, I guess you don't see them use the powers, but they still do have them.
Okay, either way, that's fine. I'm sure they can keep their powers after. Cool.
Yeah.
It still didn't. I just didn't like it. I just was like, I thought, I don't know. I just was like, I didn't. It was just this. It was too kiddish.
The funniest part of that scene, though, is when he says, "Alright, everyone, hands in." They all hold the
Oh,
staff. And he
say
says,
my
"Say my
name."
name,
Billy! No,
Uh,
say the name that I say to transform into this. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
That was fun.
They do comedy really well.
Yeah.
But it just, that scene just, that whole thing just fell really flat for me because they don't, half of them don't even actually do anything as, like, their powers.
They all have a moment.
Not the girl, not Mary. What does she do?
She's running and knocking the bad guys by
No,
accident.
that's Darla. Darla's the one.
Darla goes and saves Santa Claus.
Okay.
They all have a moment, at least.
Because I don't remember seeing Mary do anything, and I was like, neither do I remember seeing Freddy really do much.
Freddy went and got the guys off the Ferris wheel with the suitcase wedges.
That's it. And I was like, okay, there's some payoff, so I get. Also, shout out to the girl that plays adult Mary. She's from my favorite crime TV show. She's from Hawaii Bible. And I was like, hey, way to get a real. I was like, way to make it.
Yeah.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie a lot. Just the ending always throws me off.
I guess now is as good a time as any. Let's do Birds of Prey first. Shazam, my sentence. Are you fine to move on?
Yeah, we got it.
Shazam's my favorite DC movie, and I would highly recommend watching it. I think it's so much more than a superhero movie.
Shazam is not my favorite DC EU movie, but it is an amazing family movie that everybody can watch.
Yep.
It's a great family movie.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey. Let's do it.
I didn't know we were doing. I've kind of forgot Birds of Prey was part of the whole DCEU, so
it'll be pretty quick.
I didn't like Birds of Prey all that much.
You want to look it up?
Oh yeah, so, I didn't like it all that much. I love Harley Quinn and I love Margot Robbie.
Yep.
But this movie did not. The characters, the ensemble, just didn't hit home for me. And I thought a lot of the humor in this movie was not that funny. There's the whole 2-3 returning jokes of her wanting to get that egg sandwich, and
that was the funniest part. When the sandwich falls and she's broken up. That's hilarious.
Nah, it wasn't that funny. I'm sorry.
I thought it was great when Huntress, you see her rehearsing the speech in the mirror, and then she finally gets to say it out loud in person.
Yeah,
that's Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Okay, I was trying to say for some reason one thing was Adrian Pilecki, but I knew that was wrong.
She wasn't in this
one.
Okay. I will agree with you. The Birds of Prey element of this movie falls flat. They renamed it Harley Quinn Birds of Prey, which I think is better because it's a Harley Quinn movie, it's not a Birds of Prey.
Yeah, and then at the end
she teams up with the Birds of Prey, and it's cool.
That's my problem with it. It's not a Birds of Prey movie.
Yeah.
But they try to set it up like it is. Yeah. Because if this was just a Harley Quinn solo movie, take my money right now, Warner Brothers. I want that.
Yeah. Because
Margot Robbie slays it as Harley Quinn.
Yep.
Second of all, her emancipation from Joker is so cool. She bombs a chemical fact. Ace Chemicals. Yeah, it's super cool.
I love when she breaks into the police station. That's a good action sequence.
I was just about to say, the action in this movie, really well done.
Yep.
Shout out to Ewan McGregor. Not Ewan McGregor. Oh my gosh.
You talking about Black Mask?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ewan McGregor.
Okay, I'm tired. I loved him as Black Mask.
Yep.
I
loved his enthusiasm.
Yeah, he's got this unique, mode to him, you know?
There was the one moment in the club when he
Yeah.
gets mad at the one girl.
Yeah.
That felt kind of odd, out of place.
Yeah, I didn't like it, you know? But I didn't like it because he was being Black Mask and doing a good job. I just felt really out of character. Yeah,
You could have made him evil in another way and it would have been fine.
What is her name? Rave?
Black Canary.
Didn't like Black Canary.
That was good. And again, same thing. I don't know if you caught this when you watch it. This is not the first Black Canary.
No, it's not.
This is the daughter of Black Canary,
which
is cool.
I thought it would be really cool as well. I just didn't. I don't know. Also, the random Asian
Cassandra Cain.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about Renee Montoya, the cop?
No. Cassandra Cain.
Yeah.
The doppelganger of a friend of ours.
Yeah. Her chemistry with Harley Quinn is good in the movie.
Yeah, I like that. But she has absolutely. Besides that, there's absolutely no point of her being in the movie besides having the stupid
diamond in her guts.
Diamond, and it's like it's so dumb. Like, and I love dumb comedy. I did not like that.
Well, it's not comical.
It is comical.
It's
There's a diamond inside of her. That's the whole point. She swallows it.
Yeah.
They try to feed her a bunch and give her a bunch of like.
They do comedy after it, but the fact that there's a diamond in her is not for comic.
I guess. Yeah, I just was like, not feeling it. You know.
The movie looks good.
Yes, I was gonna say the color in this movie.
Color, style, cinematography.
There's some good long shots in
Bravo.
There. We talked about the police fight scene.
Yep.
Fantastic. Then there's the alleyway chase or whatever with the bikes, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that looks really good too.
Yep. Even the fight at Carnival Row at the end.
Yeah, the funhouse fight.
Yep. Good.
I liked Black Mask.
Good to look at.
I like Black Mask there when he's like doing the creepy, like foggy stuff or whatever. Doesn't she kill him? I don't remember how this movie ends. Or does Huntress kill him?
Cassandra might kill him. He gets blown up with a grenade, and like chunks fly.
Right.
This movie is R.
Oh yeah, hard R. Like
yeah. Which for Harley Quinn, I think it worked.
Yeah, I know you. I don't think you can really do a good Harley Quinn movie without having being rated R. And it's not rated R because it's like, I don't know.
It just allowed him to go a little bit farther. It's not gross.
Yeah, it's not grotesquely violent or like tons of gore and stuff like that. It just.
You do watch a man's leg. She jumps on a dude's legs and they bend backwards.
Yeah.
Which is not gory, but it's kind of gross.
Yeah,
you definitely couldn't.
You wince a little bit. You wince a little bit. Overall, it's not. My sentence for this movie is, if you see it, you see it. It's a good, like, if you just kind of want to go see a movie, it's fine. You could definitely spend money on this movie.
It's probably our biggest disagreement on the last one. I think it's a pretty good movie. It was fun. It looks really good, and
visually, it's
nice
great.
Story.
Visually, it's great, and the villain is super compelling. The team up stuff sucks.
It's good at the end because it happens at the end.
I didn't like, but don't call it a Birds of Prey movie then if it's 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah,
that's what I don't like about this movie.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So if you go in with that mentality,
it's Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey.
Yeah, if you don't go in like I did, and if you go in expecting less of a Birds of Prey movie, it'll be great. If you go in expecting a full Birds of Prey movie, you'll be disappointed.
Maybe. Yeah. Now, next up we have Wonder Woman 1984. Hasn't come out yet, so we're not talking about it. That's the next movie coming up.
We'll probably do a spoiler cast type of thing for that.
Okay. It looks good.
It looks really good.
And then there's a Suicide Squad movie coming out, directed by James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. There's a few other things that they say they're making.
They're making the Snyder Cut. That's
Snyder Cut, yeah.
That is a Warner Brothers property, but
yeah. But really, the future of the universe is a little open.
And honestly, I think Wonder Woman, if I'm gonna give I don't think it'll be that DC EU Like, honestly, like, you know how they have the little Wayne Enterprises thing? I bet you we probably won't even see much of that in this movie. I think it will be a very standalone movie.
Yeah. Here is my prediction for the rest of DCU.
They're doing a Green Lantern movie.
They've been saying they've been doing that for years, and we've heard nothing. So
it's like
I think they're gonna do a few more sequels. Maybe they'll do Wonder Woman 2.
They'll do an Aquaman 2.
Right. Set up your villains. Okay, you don't have to do an Aquaman 2. You have Black Manta. He's ready to go back. Right at the end of Shazam, the post credit, is the worm, the worm thing, saying he's going to give magic back to Savannah. Cool, we're going to get him back. Right at the post credit of Justice League was Lex Luthor and Deathstroke, which are like the baddies for Batman and Superman, saying let's make a league of our own. I think what they should do is set up a bad guy,
a Legion of Doom movie
for each of your superheroes. Then do Justice League 2. Bring Shazam with it.
I'd rather see a Legion of Doom movie. I'd rather have it be called like the Legion of Doom. Like, I want to see that storyline. So exactly what you're telling. I was like, yeah, Black Manta and probably the cat from Wonder Woman, whose name I can never remember. Cheetah. And then you got Deathstroke, Lex Luthor, Savannah.
Yeah.
Make a Legion of Doom movie and call it a Legion of Doom movie. And then like have them fight the Justice League. But it is more of a Legion of Doom movie. I think that would be so much cooler.
It'd be cooler, but they wouldn't be able to make it work. It'd have to be Justice League 2. They better not call it Justice League 2 because it's such a boring title.
It's a terrible title. Justice League Reborn. Who do you think will direct it?
I can only dream that they bring Zack back. But
I don't think he will. After doing his Snyder cut?
I think he's done, yeah.
Yeah, I think if I was Zack Snyder, I wouldn't even have come back to do the Snyder cut.
I would have.
No.
Enough people were excited for it. Plus, find it, because the thing with Justice League is his name's on that movie.
I know, and I hate that about it.
So now he gets to redeem the movie under his name.
Yeah. But I want to rank these movies really quick and then be done.
Sure. You go. You going to do best to worst or worst to best?
Worst to best.
Go for it.
We'll say Suicide Squad and
no, you do yours.
Oh, okay. Suicide Squad, Justice League. Freaking forgetting all of them now. We just talked about them.
You probably put Birds of Prey next.
Yeah, Birds of Prey, and then Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Batman v Superman.
You forgot Man of Steel.
No, I didn't.
Where'd you put it?
I'm not done. I still Shazam and...
You're putting Man of Steel at the top?
No, I didn't forget about them, but now I forgot my list. Suicide Squad, Justice League, Birds of Prey, Aquaman, Man of Steel, Shazam, Wonder Woman, Batman v Superman.
I'm surprised Aquaman's that low, to be honest.
Well, I like it, but I like Wonder Woman more.
I'm surprised that you like Man of Steel more.
Well, I haven't seen it in forever, so I wanted to give it a medium, because I don't remember.
The benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
Worst to best? Justice League. Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's where we're much different.
Then I'll probably put Man of Steel there. I'm gonna miss one or two, I bet. Wonder Woman.
Shazam, Batman v Superman.
Wonder Woman, Birds of Prey.
Aquaman.
Aquaman's supposed to be hard.
I know Shazam's gonna be your number one.
Who am I missing? Yeah, Shazam's number one, Aquaman's number two. Batman v Superman's number three. That might be all of them. So I missed one? No, I said Suicide Squad.
No, you got them all.
Cool. Yeah, that's my list.
So no,
in the most confusing way.
Actually, strikingly different.
Yeah. Cool.
Which is to be expected because we have different views on the whole DCEU. Okay, but anyway, so
we went long this time.
We went very long. I don't think I'm gonna put this one up
because we didn't put the last one up.
Not yet. For future reference, these will probably not be 2 hours long. I wanted to try to keep them an hour, so we'll just need to be more concise with what we
shouldn't talk about 8 movies.
Yeah, that also we should not do. The last thing I want to rep. What is your?
Facebook.com.
People are gonna see my private Facebook, whatever. I'm really tired, you guys.
Shinman's list.
Well, you have two N's.
Two N's at the end, not the
Oh!
S, no apostrophe. LIST.
Yeah, I figured that. There you go. Okay, cool. It doesn't actually show a ton of my private stuff. Yeah, so come, like, and do whatever you need to do to...
I haven't posted it. Oh my gosh, it's been over a month.
Yeah, it's been a little while. But come and make sure that this like button looks like this so that you can see film reviews and stuff like that from my more seasoned moviegoer than myself.
The co-host.
The co-host. You're probably the host. You introduce it all, which is good because...
That's your channel.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just a host for the internet. Anyway, cool. This was Moviecast Mondays. Monday Night Moviecast. That's one of them. Yeah. Talking for 2 hours takes it out of you. I'm just going to say that. So, yeah.
Let's have some pizza.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks all for watching. And feel free to, like, leave me a message on Twitter or on Twitch or whatever. Whisper
Tell us
me.
what to talk about.
Yeah, whisper me something. If there's like a movie that you think we could review or something like that, whatever, let us know. We've got a couple ideas down the pipeline. There might be a Nolan type of series type of thing we'll do. We'll probably do an MCU breakdown at some point.
That might be before Black Widow.
Yeah, we'll probably do that in sections. But yeah. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Again, once we figure out where we'll be posting these, you can go back and watch them later. But,
we're still figuring out. This is what, our second week?
Yeah, second week. We're good.
You can give us some slack.
Yeah, you can. All right. Bye, all.
See you later.